What is up, everyone? Welcome to episode 169, Jubilant June. So right now we're going to get right into job changes. It's just me here. I will be going Han Solo. So Ryan Drake transitioned from managing member to CEO and chief investment officer at Commonwealth Retirement Investments LLC. Drake founded the Richmond, Virginia-based firm in 2012 after serving as an independent financial planner with Lincoln Financial Advisors, where he was a member of the Chairman's Council, reserved for the top 1% of financial planners affiliated with the firm. Number 2, Kim McGurry transitioned from Senior People Partner, U.S. Health and Benefits, Commercial and Multinational Client Solutions, to Head of Talent Development, Business and Client Services at Mercer Investment Consulting. McGurry brings 20 years of human resources experience, having held senior roles across the energy, legal, professional services, and insurance sectors prior to joining Mercer in 2019. Robert Suhu transitioned from Director of Retirement to Executive Director at the Malden Retirement Board, a Boston area public sector pension fund. Suhu serves as a generalist portfolio manager with the fund based in Malden, Massachusetts. So a lot going on right there. We're going to jump right into the wealth management and wealth side of things. John Durham, a former Merrill Lynch advisor with more than 25 years of experience, launched Miami-based Vallon Private Capital as an SEC-registered RIA and a partner firm of Sanctuary Wealth, bringing $477 million in client assets and a focus on ultra-high net worth families with complex multi-generational planning needs. And I think this is just something we're seeing at just a broader macro level, is this just insatiable appetite for relocation to Florida and namely Miami. I mean, just the pro-growth, deregulatory environment, I think, is really conducive to becoming a relocation magnet. Pathstone, a UHNW-focused multifamily office and RIA, acquired Conshohocken, Pennsylvania-based Mill Creek Capital Advisors, right in our backyard, adding approximately $12 billion in assets under advisement and 46 professionals to its platform. Quite impressive there. The deal closed June 1st, bringing Pathstone's Philadelphia area operation to more than 120 team members, advising on nearly $30 billion in assets. Carson Group acquired Jackson Wealth Management, a Lake Mary, Florida-based RIA, another Florida case here, that managed more than $1.1 billion in client assets at Osaic, making Carson's 46th integrated office and expanding its footprint in the Southeast. So really exciting stuff on the wealth management side of things. We're going to go into consultants and right now commitments. So first, we're staying in the South. South Carolina Retirement System Investment Commission, RSIC, which has over 53 billion assets under management, almost 54 billion actually, based in Columbia, South Carolina. They use Verus as a general consultant. They use Auburn as a private credit consultant. So they disclosed 7 delegated investments totaling $575 million made between March 31st and June 3rd, spanning private equity and private credit. Commitments range from $50 million to $250 million across buyout and credit strategies. As of March 31st, RSIC's private markets allocation stood at 31.3% of the total portfolio, just below its 32% target. Now we're going to the Northeast. New York State Common Retirement Fund, which has $298 billion in assets under management, and they're based in Albany, New York, the state capital. They use RVK as a general consultant and Auburn as a private credit consultant. They disclose committing 150 million euros, which equates to $165 million, to Main Capital Fund 9 Feeder ACV continuation vehicle, and $58 million US dollars, 50 million in euros to Main Foundation Fund 3 Feeder A, another continuation vehicle. Both managed by Main Capital Partners, with both investments closing April 17th. So a month and a half ago. The commitments mark the first time CRF has invested with the firm. Both funds target B2B, business-to-business enterprise software and SaaS businesses across Western Europe and the Nordic region. So very exciting stuff. And now we're going to the Midwest, to Chicago. Chicago Metropolitan Water Reclamation District Retirement Fund, which is obviously in the Chicago area, and uses general consultant and private equity consultant Market Associates. Just ratified a previously approved telephone pole action to commit up to $40 million to Brookfield Supercore Infrastructure. Separately, the pension approved staff recommendation to place 2 managers on its watch list: Wasatch Global Advisors for performance reasons and MFS Investment Management due to a change in portfolio management leadership. Both managers hold small cap equity mandates with the fund. And so now we're going to be talking about searches. So Cook County Annuity and Benefit Fund, which has over $13 billion in assets under management, just under $13.5 billion actually, and they are in the Chicago area. We're staying there. They leverage Callan Associates as not just a general consultant, but also a private credit consultant. And they just launched an active core plus commingled real estate manager RFP for a combined mandate totaling $165.3 million. Proposals are due June 26th, with a single manager expected to be selected following finalist presentations to the investment committee on November 19th. So a little under 6 months from now. Callan is assisting with the search. The fund targets a 9% real estate allocation against approximately $15.1 billion in total planned assets. Now for LA, the Los Angeles Fire and Police Pension System, which has over $32.5 billion in assets under management, they use general consultant RVK, and they use the Stepstone Group as a private credit consultant. They approved the timeline and minimum qualifications for an invite-only domestic small-cap value equity manager search. Approximately 31 firms are expected to qualify through an investment screen, with finalists named in Q3 and board interviews in early Q4. The search follows the termination of 3 prior managers, Alliance Bernstein, Channing Capital, and Westwood, and subsequent organizational and performance concerns at the 2 retained managers. LAFPP had approximately $35.9 billion in assets as of March 31st. Now we're going back to the Northeast. The Boston Retirement System, which has $8.2 billion assets under management and uses NEPC for their general consultant and private equity consultant, they just voted to hire MFS Investment Management as its international equity growth manager, replacing Walter Scott & Partners. Following a search conducted by NEPC, Walter Scott acknowledged 5 years of underperformance in the strategy. In a concurrent value search, the board retained incumbent Todd Asset Management, citing recent performance improvement and fee reductions. Okay, so some really exciting stuff on the search front. Now we'll be talking about fundraising updates, my favorite piece of the program. Benchmark Capital closed $2 billion in commitments across 2 funds, including the firm's first ever $1.25 billion growth vehicle dedicated to late-stage investments. The early-stage fund totals $750 million, nearly doubling the roughly $425 million cap the firm held for more than 2 decades. The new growth fund will make 5 to 6 large investments in both existing portfolio companies and new startups. Oslo-based Longship closed its 4th fund, Longship Fund 4, at its hard cap of Norway krone 2.4 billion, which equates to $254.6 million US dollars, to a growth vehicle dedicated to late-stage investments. Through a single closing reached 11 weeks after launch, the fund continues Longship's thematic lower mid-market buyout strategy in Norway, targeting profitable companies across technology adoption, sustainability, quality of life, and resilient societies. The firm has completed 21 platform investments and more than 100 total acquisitions since its 2015 founding, so very impressive over a decade. Supabase, an open source Postgres development platform, raised $500 million in a Series F at a $10.5 billion post-money valuation in a round led by GIC, Singapore's sovereign wealth fund. All existing investors participated, with Stripe making its second investment in the company and Salesforce Ventures joining for the very first time. The raise brings Supabase's total capital raised to more than $1 billion. And also we have some exciting cocktails. We will be in Chicago, June 17th, and we will be in London June 30th. I mean, 2 amazing cities. We hope you can make it out. And thank you so much for coming out, guys. I'll see you soon.
This episode is brought to you by Dakota Marketplace. Are you tired of constantly jumping between multiple databases and channels to find the right investment opportunities? Introducing Dakota Marketplace, the comprehensive institutional and intermediate database built by fundraisers for fundraisers. With Dakota Marketplace, you'll have access to all channels and asset classes in one place, saving you time and streamlining your fundraising process. Say goodbye to the frustration of searching through multiple databases, websites, Form ADVs, and say hello to a seamless and efficient fundraising experience. Sign up now and see the difference Dakota Marketplace can make for you. Visit dakota.com/Dakota-Marketplace today.